Hi, I'm Donna Campbell, the Executive Vice President over at the Los Angeles Tribune. And my guest today, I am so excited for, is Jacqueline Elliott. And she is one of our executive producers for the movie The Rise of the Lioness, The Power of Feminine Leadership. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Thank you for having me.
So earlier today, we were filming for The Rise of the Lioness, and
Yes.
you wanted to be in this movie. I remember some of our conversations, and I'm like overseas and it's midnight for
In
me.
Thailand, right?
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Thailand. So share with me what really excited you about the movie The Rise of the Lioness?
Well, really, I think that, as a woman in my role, leadership, it's we need more women, and there's a lot of power that we have inside. And I think a lot of people try to hide that. And a lot of it that I say for that is because I see like women being empathetic, having incredible intuition, like leading for other people, building people up, wanting everybody to win, all of these qualities that a lot of people shut down because they're
Mhm,
just basically like behind the scenes. I think a lot of people view women, and sometimes we view ourselves as being in
mhm,
the shadows of other people. And I think that, if somebody like me that grew up maybe not having the best childhood, not having a lot of money growing up, and, just probably the least likely to make it in this position that I have today. If you would have asked anybody that known me, that knew my upbringing, they would have been like, "There's no way that she would ever, like, do something like this."
mhm,
And, I think that if I can show that example of that, that drive, and that if I can do it, I mean, there's so many others that can.
mhm,
And, it came from the story of how I view myself. And, a lot of lies that we tell ourselves as women, and we
mhm,
hide behind the scenes and we build other people up instead of us being that lighthouse for everybody else. And a lot of the stuff that we try to hide, like that care that we have for others and
mhm,
building people up and all of that, like, are really truly our superpowers. People see women as being weak. Like, they see them like they can't handle rejection. They don't do good in sales. They're too emotional. They're too loud, or they're too quiet, or they're too ambitious, or whatever it is. Like, all of these different labels that people
mhm.
create on them that actually end up being the superpowers, or they simply think they're not enough. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, educated enough, or I don't have the experience, or this person, knows more than I do. And I think that if a woman can handle rejection, if a woman can really fight hard for what she believes in, she can accomplish anything in the world. And the thing is that the heart of the woman is just so powerful. In this world, people don't work for money
Mhm.
anymore. They work to find meaning in what they want to do in life. And if they can feel powerful, and if they have somebody holding their hand, and it's just not like, hey, go do this, it's like, hey, let me show you the way. Women have that incredible power to do so because we are nurturers in our,
Mhm.
that's how we're built.
That's
So if we're nurturers, I mean, they make the best leaders. So why not more?
Why not more? And that's absolutely true. And the stories, the lies, the leashes, as you
Mhm.
call it, that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy,
Right,
who am I? Do I matter? Am I valued?
right.
Am I appreciated? I mean, those are all storylines women run in the subconscious part of their brain, and it just goes on and on and on in a
Exactly.
loop. What do you think is the number one lie women tell themselves?
Well, I think that women feel guilty all the time. If you have kids, for example, and you decide to go pursue your dreams and you want to have this incredible, career, you feel guilty, and you have that mommy guilt of not being present for your children. Or if you go and, let's just say, you don't make that special dinner every night because your grandmother told you that you have to be this way growing up,
Mhm,
or you make for a bad wife if you don't do so, right?
mhm.
Like, I think it's very self-inflicted. What we want, we wanna make people proud. And I think a lot of people, like, they're living their lives for other people, for
Mhm,
people to make sure that, they fit that mold of what the perfect wife looks like, or
mhm.
the perfect woman in general. And it's just a life that's not you're just not living because you're not happy. Now, I love, like, there was a time in my life where I was taking care of my children when I wasn't really doing what I do today, right? Because I went through different stages in my life, and I found fulfillment in that. I love taking care of my kids. I love making them a hot meal. I love, playing with them. I love doing all this stuff, but I realized that, the biggest lie that people have is, like, that they have to be one dimensional.
Mhm.
that they can't have one thing, they have to, sacrifice sacrifice, or for what you want, or what you want becomes a sacrifice. That's what people think,
Mhm.
right? And that's in business, and that's for women and men. Like, men go to work and they think like, "Hey, you know what? I can't be a good husband or a good dad." Same thing happens to women. If they go to work, they're guilty that they feel like their kids are lacking. But what happens with that mom that's home all of the time
Mhm.
and all she's doing is complaining because she feels like she has a fire inside of her to be somebody. And she's
Mhm.
trying to tell her kids, hey, you can achieve your goals and dreams and you can do anything you want in life. And she herself is not happy with her life because she knows she has more in her. I'm
Yes.
not saying to sacrifice your family. I believe in having it all. I believe I can be a badass mom
Mhm.
and wife and have a badass business and everything in life if I just am very intentional with what I'm doing and fight hard for what I believe in.
Mhm.
Is it going to be hard? Yes. Are you gonna go through some difficult stuff? Yes. But the thing is, that's how you get I mean, that's the recipe to success. If I'm gonna
Mhm.
have that fire inside of me and I have no way of letting it burn and letting people see that I have more potential in me because I'm basing it off of what people think that the perfect mom or wife needs to be like, then I'm not living for me. I'm living for everybody else.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that I'm here like today to talk about. Like, I want people to know, like, hey, you know what? You don't have to sacrifice anything in life. You can have it all
Mhm.
if you really, really fight for what you believe in. And plus, if I want to be that example to my children, if I want to be that hero for my daughters, I have two daughters and a son.
Mhm.
And if I want to tell my daughters that they can accomplish anything in life, what are they going to do? They're going to go find somebody on the internet. They're going to go look at somebody else, and that person's going to be their hero. Why not me? I've birthed them. I want to show them what greatness looks like. And I want to be that example because if what I tell them they can achieve everything there is,
Mhm.
then I want them to know, like, hey, my mom, she's a badass. She gave it all she got,
Mhm.
everything she has.
Right.
Like, she works hard. She takes great care of us. She shows us massive love. She's spontaneous. She shows up at the end of the day and she's not drained. She still sits down as busy as she is, and she has the time to read me a book or tell me a story or pray with me.
Mhm.
Like, that stuff is what brings happiness to me, knowing that, hey, I'm not sacrificing one thing for the other.
Mhm.
I believe in power couples. I believe in marriage. I believe that one person needs to build the other person up
Mhm.
when they're down. Hey, it's not I'm the motivation for my husband. Like, I need to build him up because as a
Mhm.
woman, I have the power to chop his legs off and make him feel like he can't accomplish anything,
Mhm.
or I can put wings on him and build him up to do great things.
Mhm.
And that's what life is about, to just live to your max potential. And that's what I strive to do every day.
Mhm.
And if I can do it with all of the labels that I had growing up,
Yes.
I mean, it's just so crazy. People have so much inside of them, and it's this untapped potential.
Mhm.
Women were so used to serving others in giving so much, and that's such a beautiful gift. But also, like, who's filling your cup
Mhm.
in order for you to give to others?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Like, you're not gonna inspire anybody if you're just giving to everybody else. You're gonna go look at everybody else instead of looking at you being that example of loving yourself so you can pour into others.
Mhm. So, one of the things that you mentioned
Mhm.
was that fire inside that comes up, that burns. We talked a little bit, you mentioned intuition a little bit
Yeah.
earlier, and you've gone through so many different transitions as a woman
Yeah.
in the different roles, from working in the corporate world to being married to being a mom into
Yeah.
what you're doing now. Something tells me that fire rose up inside of you
Yeah.
more than once. So, share with us one of the stories about following that intuition and that
Yeah.
fire rising up.
Yeah, I think, with time, we have something inside of us, as women, we have that creativity, we have that drive, we wanna go for things, we don't think too much, we attack, right? And I'm talking about making smart decisions, but I'm talking about, like, not second guessing our abilities, like, I had that in me.
Mhm.
And then I got married, and then I had kids, and then I got a little scared. I started putting labels on, I'm not gonna do this because the kids or because of my husband or because of this, and, we started that time of execution,
Mhm.
that speed just started slowing down a little bit, and I created my own leashes and fears
Mhm.
that were self-inflicted. So, my transitions have been from being, the ballsy one that's, like, ready, the go-getter, the one that's the dreamer, the one that,
Mhm.
is the visionary, the one that, moves the needle, to being the person that second guesses herself. to being the person that's like, maybe I'm not enough. And that's when the labels come in. I'm not enough, or should I really do this? Or what if I fail? Or what if, what if people laugh at me? Or what if we start over again? Because that's happened in our lives. We
Mhm.
started over and over and over and over and over. And it is a scary feeling. But then there's that fear of regret.
Mhm.
There's that fear of regret, and when that fire that's inside of your belly, like that fire that I felt after going through, you know, being betrayed and, failing and just
Mhm.
starting over and all of that stuff, that fire kept dimming a little bit more and more and more.
Mhm.
And then finally one day, I got pissed off. And I was like, I don't even recognize the girl that I see in the mirror.
Wow.
I'm not proud of myself. I don't even like that woman anymore. Like I don't where is that girl that was spontaneous? Where is the dreamer? Where is the one that motivated? Where's the one I was I was sitting at home with my kids and I was angry. I was just looking at everything that was wrong, complaining about the messes instead of being like, "Oh my gosh, this is a blessing. They're
Mhm.
healthy." Like I was just building my own prison around
Mhm.
myself. And I was like, I didn't recognize that girl. And I said, "You know what? I'm done being that girl. I need to have fun." I used to be the most spontaneous person ever. I used to be a lot of fun. I used to go around and chase my kids with Nerf guns and do stuff, and I play Ring Around the Rosie at 11 o'clock at night instead of being, like, yelling at them the whole time.
Mhm.
And I was like, "You know what? I need to have fun, and I need to quit thinking so much, and I just need to go for it. And if I fail, that's great. You learn from your mistakes."
Mhm.
I believe in failure being, like, the greatest teacher in life. I believe in making mistakes. I dig from mistakes even in our business today. I believe in making mistakes. Now, we learn from our mistakes. Making new mistakes is what I look for, not
Mhm.
making old mistakes. So as long as you can learn from them and move forward in that, then that's amazing. But that fire that
Mhm.
stays inside, once you feed into that fire and you add a little log in there and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you start feeling that power. And that power comes from that intuition and that drive and that all of those labels, you start burning them up in that fire,
Mhm.
and you quit second guessing yourself, and you use your heart, which is the biggest thing for a woman
Mhm.
to use. Your
Right.
heart doesn't tell you to second guess yourself. Your heart doesn't tell you that you're not worthy. Your heart doesn't tell you to slow play everything.
Mhm.
Your heart doesn't tell you to be a reflection of somebody else. It tells you to use it so you can grow and use those powers so you can build people up.
Mhm.
And that's what I use as that fire. When I feel it dimming, when I see myself, second guessing myself, I'm like, shoot those airplanes down and just like, don't even like get in that
Mhm.
frame of mind because there's a lot of people that are in business and they have a lot of negative thoughts in their minds. They have a lot of things, a lot of demons that they're combating every single day,
Yes.
but a lot of those demons are self-inflicted because of failure, because of loss, because of fear.
Mhm.
And that's just stuff that you need to burn in that fire and
Mhm.
just grow with it and
Mhm.
learn, and it's okay.
Yes, and I always get this image as you're speaking, the phoenix rising out of the ashes.
Yeah,
Except here we were at the rise of the lioness,
yeah.
and you knew, you came on as an executive producer, that this had a message with you, for you, and you become it. And the lioness is such a symbol
Right.
for so many people, so many different women out there. But you have truly embraced it, embodied it, which
Mhm.
not many people do,
Right.
and yet you allow it to come out. So, what was the process like for you when you learned about the movie The Rise of the Lioness and saying, "Yes, no, sign me up. I'm doing this."
Well, I think, when we started our business in the very beginning, like, I wasn't really interested in, like, building, like, a brand or building, like, all of this, but I started having people coming to our events and seeing the transformations and having these conversations with these business owners and people that were just really lost and just teaching them how to do better in their businesses, but also in their families, and also with as parents and everything that we are doing because we were just building people from like the ground up and really finding these people that were like really lost inside because everybody has the same problems, right? And when I saw that, I was like, man, like people really need to hear my message. They really need to understand, and I'm really helping these people, and I'm getting all of these people that I'm changing their lives. How dim am I to just keep it to myself and just go to speak to the people that are in front of me? So then I was like, okay, well, that's when we started kind of like doing the social media brand. And then people started reaching out and being like, hey, you know what? You've motivated me. I did this and I felt this way. And now I'm doing this. And now I've built this. And now I have my kids looking up to me. Now I'm their hero in all of these different things. And I'm like, it's all about impact.
Mhm.
And when I see this as an opportunity. Like, people need to know this. People need to know that they're valuable. People need to know that there's tools and stuff that God put inside of them that they need to just use and
Mhm,
open up their eyes and quit, break free of those leashes that they have. And so to me, when, I learned about this, I was like, man, like, I've been playing small. Like, I've been playing small.
mhm,
And here I'm telling people, "Quit playing small," but I've been doing it myself. I've been holding on to the knowledge and the information and stuff that helped me, these experiences that made me grow and actually build a life for my family and break those generational
mhm.
curses that I had throughout my whole
Yes,
life.
yes.
Like, if I could share it with more people and give this information to the people that are the least qualified, the people that are the most broken out there, the single moms, the people that have lost people in their lives, people that are important to them, that they feel like they have no hope and they feel like they failed. Maybe they've made a few mistakes and they're living in those mistakes and they're they're judged by their last mistake.
Mhm,
That I could be like, man, you know what? This isn't the end. This is just the beginning. This is what's gonna make you great. Then this is why I was like, "Man, this is my opportunity to tell these women, these people, like, hey, you've got more in you. That
mhm,
fire, it's time to make you shine. You need to be that lighthouse that, brings out that and not
mhm,
be the shadow of anybody else, but yourself, because your story is so powerful. Your last mistake shouldn't define you. You know, it's what you've learned from that and you've overcome
mhm,
what helps other people. Nobody wants to follow the perfect person.
mhm,
Nobody wants to follow somebody that hasn't made any mistakes. Nobody wants to follow somebody that says that they've got their life together.
mhm.
People like to follow people that they can resonate with,
Yeah,
that they
that
can
are
learn from.
real people.
Exactly, exactly.
Real
Yeah.
people, authentic people. And I think the fastest, quickest way in being an open book, the authenticity is something that you said and have shared as a theme is following what's really in the heart or
Right.
leading from the heart.
Mhm.
What is one story you can share with us where you really led from the heart when the brain told us something different?
Oh, wow. There are so many examples of that. So my dad was a failed entrepreneur, like he failed a lot in life,
Mhm,
and that really helped mold me because I saw a lot of failure in my life, which made me very ballsy as an adult. But one of the things, like now he's a successful businessman. He has a really good business and he's done really well for himself. But that was after I was out of the house pretty much. So I saw a lot of failure growing up. But he told me, hey, listen, you share too much with your people. You're too close to them. Like you can't be so open and vulnerable with your people because they're gonna use it against you. He would tell me this all of the
mhm,
time. He would be like, "And you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest with you, like, logically and truthfully, he was right. I
mhm,
have been hurt many times. People have taken advantage of my heart. People have
mhm,
used that against me and all of that. But guess what I do have? I have an incredible team of people. We have been betrayed. We have been we have gone through so much with people that we've put our trust in, and they have done that to us. But what happens when people get hurt? Most of the time, their hearts get hardened
mhm,
and they don't want to do that anymore. I look at the people that are still with us and I'm like, hey, thank you for believing in us and in me. And I'm going to pour more into you for doing that. And I
mhm,
appreciate your loyalty. Thank you so much. And we go harder and we love more. And I'm going to tell you, my dad has an incredible business, but he does not have anywhere near the loyalty that we have in our
mhm,
company because we've used our heart in that and we haven't allowed ourselves to get hard.
mhm,
So that's just one example of like, yeah, logically, you learn from your mistakes and you change your approach. But no, we followed our heart and said, hey, what's the right thing to do? The right
mhm,
thing to do is lean harder
mhm.
into what you're doing and love more.
Mm.
And it's worked in our advantage. So,
Yes, yes. Lean harder, working in the advantage. And following all of that with the story with your father, with the failure, most people hear that they're afraid of success because they have failed so many
yeah,
different times.
right.
That you've turned that around.
Yeah.
How did you switch that in the mind that, well, if this didn't work, maybe I should try again? Because I think of
Huh.
like Thomas Edison
Mhm.
and Einstein and
Yeah.
all of their inventions.
No.
They turned their failures into
Right.
successes.
Or they were labeled the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah.
So share with us a little bit about that process for you.
Oh, man. For one, I'm very stubborn, which I've taken in my advantage. Stubborn, I also would say was has been very resilient, you
Mhm.
know? I think that a lot of people are on a verge of a breakthrough and they just quit a little too soon, especially in times today. Like,
Mhm.
we live in a world where everybody's so used to speed. Like, you type in Google, "Hey, give me the answer to this." 2 seconds later, you have the answer. ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
you get an answer. Like, the wins happen so fast that people give up so much nowadays. You talk to a 25-year-old that's already gone through 10 jobs. I mean, they don't have that resilience to stick it through a lot of times,
Mhm.
and they run away from pain and failure,
Yeah.
right? And honestly, like, that's the stuff that really makes you great. If you look at anybody, like, if you look at basketball players or anything, how many hoops did they miss before they actually made them? Like, you have to be able to take your losses and really learn from them, and that's what's gonna cause a big win. Anything that's worth fighting for, I always talk about this all the time. You solve big problems, you get bigger impact or make more money, right? So
Mhm.
I'm constantly like a problem solver, or the bigger things that I have to handle, the more fulfillment I get and the more impact I make. So with me, I look at that like, hey, I'm stubborn. I said I'm stubborn, and I am. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm like going to go all the way and make sure I exhaust every single little
Mhm.
option before I have to make a pivot. And if I'm going to run, and a lot of times people break when they're on the verge of a breakthrough. Like, it always happens all the time. It could be that extra phone call. It could be that
Mhm.
extra client that you talk to. It could be whatever it is, not leaving work on a loss, but making sure it's a win and going home with a different attitude, not going, to sleep when you're mad, and solving through one more problem. I mean, it
Mhm.
always helps that, but a lot of people are just trained to quit too soon. And that's the difference. That resilience needs to
Mhm.
be there. And that's why that failure has turned into success, because I'm so stubborn. I won't stop until I may figure it out. And it also, like, there's so many tools that are available right now that we just pivot so fast. Too much information sometimes it's just, it's not good,
Yeah.
because we get too smart for our own good.
Mhm.
Sometimes, we're in the sales world, sometimes people like try to figure out the perfect pitch and all of this stuff. They get so inundated with so much information that it paralyzes them from taking action. The
Mhm.
speed of execution is another thing. You go for it, you learn from your mistakes, and you pivot. When we built our business, now we have all the beautiful systems and processes and metrics that we follow and all this stuff. But when we started our business, we were flying the plane and building it at the same time. And the thing is that
Mhm.
we would fail and we would hit a wall and, oh, bounce right back. But, we just kept going and going and going and going. And that's just it. And we had such a fire and such a drive and such heart inside. There was nobody that was out there that it could convince us otherwise.
Mhm.
Like, we were going to get it no matter what.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what's needed right now. Like, people need to really believe in what they want to accomplish and not have a plan B. Everybody has a plan B. That's why nobody makes it. Your back's not against, if you have a plan B, you have not suffered enough. You don't have your back against the wall. You haven't put all the chips on the table. You're just trying to find a way out.
Mhm.
And that's not a way to make it.
It's very, very true. Very true there. And so many words of wisdom. Hopefully, we're not ending too soon here.
Ah,
However, our time is coming near. So, Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm going to let you have the last words.
the last words. Okay. Well, I have so many words, but thank you so much for coming and
Mhm.
talking to me. It was really a pleasure, having you here, spending time here in the home and,
Incredibly
everything.
beautiful.
But I really, really hope that, a lot of women like really like watch this, a lot of people in general, because we all have the same leashes.
Mhm.
And I really feel that we have a duty, you know, you have a duty with what you're doing. I mean, you're a badass in business. You travel all over the world. You talk to so many people. I mean, if we join forces and we really show women what's
Mhm.
possible, and yeah, sometimes we get tired. We work so hard and we get exhausted. But guess what? Like, there is nothing more important than really doing what you came to do in this earth. You have so many tools that just need to be exhausted to really get to where we need to go. So we need a lot more women that believe in themselves. We have a lot more, like, all these leashes that were put on us need to be just broken, and just go out there and really show your worth and quit trying to make everybody, you know, like, quit trying to fit in. Like, quit trying to make everybody else proud. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to see who that person is looking back at you and be like, "Hey, you know what? This person has potential. Nothing's gonna light, gonna turn that fire down. Like, I'm gonna build myself up. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna speak truth. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna try to fit in like anybody else. And I'm gonna show what's truly possible in
Mhm.
life." And it's not me, it's not you, it's not, only the people that are on TV or making movies or anything like that. It's every single woman out there. If you can use your inner voice and really go out there and really change people and really care about people, because, we have the power, and we have all the tools that we have that are necessary to be able to build people up. True leader isn't like, hey, look at me. Like, I am the
Mhm.
one that, has a spotlight here. True leadership is holding somebody by the hand and be like, hey, let's climb this mountain together and we can do this, and let's not look back. Let's look forward. We've got a lot of work to do. So if we can change the world,
Mhm.
if we can change our daughter's life, I know you have 2 daughters.
Mhm.
I have 2 daughters. If we can show them what's possible and they can look at me as that example and be that hero for them, and your daughters need to look at you as their example
Yes.
instead of looking at somebody else, don't let anybody rob you of the opportunity of being a hero to the person you give birth to. I mean, that's what I believe.
Right.
I mean, that's
I
it.
love it.
And, we can do that, one person at a time, but it starts with you. It starts with loving yourself and really believing in yourself and really speaking truth, to everybody. You don't have to be that shadow. You can be that light.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. And you heard it here. Be the hero for someone and stand up as that powerful woman leader that you are.
That's right.